Welcome to Omasae, where garden dreams come alive in every detail. In today's video, we invite you to join us on a journey through a rustic vintage front garden makeover that blends timeless charm with effortless beauty. From the very first step through a weathered gate to the final touch of rustic log slice edging, every element has been carefully chosen to create a space that feels both inviting and inspiring. This makeover is not just about plants or paths. It's about atmosphere, materials, textures, and the little details that turn a simple yard into a welcoming sanctuary. As you watch, imagine how these touches might bring a new spirit to your own outdoor spaces. If you're passionate about garden design, rustic charm, or simply enjoy the soothing elegance of nature paired with vintage style, you're in the right place. Make sure to subscribe to Omasae, like this video, and leave a comment sharing which detail inspires you most. We love hearing your thoughts and ideas. Your support helps us continue creating beautiful content for garden lovers everywhere. Now, let's begin our walk through this charming rustic vintage front garden makeover. Every rustic garden needs features that are both practical and beautiful, and the half-barrel rain garden delivers exactly that. An old wooden barrel, cut in half, is repurposed as a container for capturing and filtering rainwater. Its weathered staves and iron bands tell of a history perhaps tied to wine or cider, now given new life as a sustainable garden feature. Planted with moisture-loving species such as irises, sedges, or marsh marigolds, the barrel becomes a miniature ecosystem, supporting both beauty and biodiversity. This feature aligns perfectly with the vintage rustic theme, resourceful, functional, and full of character. It adds an element of surprise, showing how ordinary objects can be reimagined into garden treasures. The half-barrel also speaks to a broader principle, sustainability. By reusing and repurposing, The garden becomes not only stylish, but also mindful of its resources. This mix of old-world charm and modern awareness makes the rain garden a standout element. It demonstrates that rustic design isn't just about looks. It's about living in harmony with nature, where even water has its place in the story of effortless beauty. As you stroll further, a weathered bench invites you to pause beneath the shelter of a tree. This simple seating spot may not be grand, but its atmosphere is profound. The bench, softened by age and perhaps moss at the edges, carries the marks of time much like the gate we entered through. Positioned in dappled shade, it creates a restful retreat where one can linger, read, or simply listen to the sounds of the garden. Its rustic wood construction fits seamlessly into the surroundings, never appearing out of place. The charm of this feature lies not only in its look, but in the mood it creates, a moment of stillness amid abundance. The bench under the tree suggests that a garden is not only for walking through, but also for inhabiting, for savoring the quiet and beauty it provides. This spot becomes a destination in itself, a place where memories can be made and reflections can unfold. Its simplicity reinforces the overall design philosophy. Sophistication doesn't always require grand gestures. Sometimes it's found in the most modest of details. In this makeover, the bench is both an anchor and a haven, timeless and endlessly inviting. As dusk settles, the lantern glow becomes the heart of our front garden makeover, casting a gentle welcome across gravel and stone. Set on a weathered timber post with a hand-rubbed patina, the fixture's rippled glass softens the light into warm, vintage shimmer. At its base, a meadow mix of daisies, yarrow, and airy grasses catches highlights on seed heads and petals, sparkling like tiny embers. The Fieldstone ribbon path reads deeper under the glow, each irregular edge outlined just enough to guide an easy, unhurried walk. Zinc and terracotta planters nearby reflect and absorb the light in turn, balancing cool metal sheen with earthy ceramic warmth. The lantern's reach grazes a reclaimed ladder trellis, turning climbing blooms into silhouettes that sway like quiet shadow puppets. A weathered gate in the distance appears softer and more inviting, as if the lantern were stitching the garden's rooms together. Practical as it is poetic, the post adds nighttime safety while preserving the rustic mood through honest materials and simple joinery. Moths spiral in and out of the halo, and the breeze carries a hint of time from the porch pots, completing the sensory scene. With one small, thoughtful focal point, the front garden feels timeless, sophisticated, and ready to welcome every evening home. Every magical garden begins with a threshold, and in this makeover, the weathered gate sets the tone right from the start. The gate, with its soft patina and worn textures, immediately whispers of history, warmth, and rustic character. Its faded wood carries the marks of time, giving visitors a sense that they're stepping into a garden where stories have already been written and new ones are waiting to unfold. The design may seem simple, but its impact is powerful. It acts as both a literal and symbolic entry point. A gate like this tells you instantly that you're entering a place of charm rather than formality. The rustic hinges, perhaps slightly creaky, and the natural imperfections of the wood add authenticity that can't be replicated with new, glossy materials. Framing the gate with climbing plants or soft greenery helps ease the transition, blurring the boundary between public and private. It's an invitation, a gentle welcome, and a promise of the beauty to come. This weathered gate doesn't shout for attention. It speaks softly yet confidently, saying that what lies beyond is worth slowing down for and savoring. By beginning with such a piece, the entire garden makeover establishes its identity as effortlessly beautiful and authentically vintage. As the garden journey nears its end, the rustic edge with log slices provides a final note of charm. Simple yet effective, this border detail is crafted from cut sections of logs arranged along the garden's edge. The natural rings and textures of the wood add warmth and definition, framing flower beds or pathways with rustic personality. This feature is wonderfully versatile. Log slices can be arranged vertically for height or laid flat for a stepping effect. Over time, as the wood weathers and softens in color, it blends further into the landscape, enhancing the sense of age and authenticity. The rustic edge is a reminder that beauty doesn't need to be complicated. Sometimes, the simplest ideas leave the most lasting impression. It's a detail that ties the makeover together, uniting natural materials with vintage style in a way that feels effortless. This log slice edging is approachable for any gardener to replicate, proving that rustic elegance is within reach without complex tools or expensive materials. Ending with this feature brings the garden full circle. It began with a weathered gate and concludes with weathered wood, a subtle and satisfying echo of rustic beauty. Stepping through the gate, your eyes are quickly drawn to a delightful vintage wheelbarrow planter Nook. This repurposed garden feature is the very definition of rustic creativity, an everyday tool from the past, transformed into a vessel for living color. Filled with seasonal blooms, trailing vines, or fragrant herbs, the wheelbarrow instantly becomes a centerpiece that sparks both nostalgia and inspiration. Its aged metal or weathered wood contrasts beautifully with the freshness of the plants it holds, symbolizing the balance of time-worn beauty and new life. Positioned in a quiet corner or as a focal point by the path, the planter Nook feels casual, unpretentious, and deeply welcoming. It suggests that gardens don't have to be perfect or polished to be enchanting. They can embrace the old, the repurposed, and the handmade. The wheelbarrow itself adds movement and playfulness to the design, as if it could be wheeled into a new position at any moment, even if it now sits in a place of honor. With just a touch of imagination, this humble object becomes a storytelling element that ties the rustic theme together. In every glance, it reminds visitors that beauty often comes from simple, resourceful ideas that honor the past while celebrating the present. Further along the journey, a rustic arbor rises to frame the view and create a natural focal point. Constructed from simple wood, perhaps aged or even reclaimed, the arbor stands as a symbol of timeless charm. Its beauty lies not in polished perfection, but in the way it merges seamlessly with climbing plants. Roses, clematis, or honeysuckle weave their way upward, softening the structure until wood and foliage become inseparable. The effect is enchanting. Walking beneath the arbor feels like passing into another world. This feature embodies the rustic vintage theme by combining sturdy craftsmanship with the wild romance of climbing plants. The arbor also serves a practical role, guiding the eye deeper into the garden and offering shade or shelter at the right time of day. Positioned thoughtfully, it can frame a view of the house, a bench, or even the sky itself. Over time, as the climbers mature, the arbor takes on an even richer patina, blending into its surroundings as if it has always been there. This blend of natural growth and rustic structure is what makes the arbor so compelling. It doesn't just decorate the garden, it becomes part of its living story. As you move closer to the porch, your attention is captured by a trio of pots arranged with understated elegance. The use of zinc and terracotta is no accident. These classic materials carry both texture and history, blending perfectly with the rustic vintage theme. Terracotta pots, with their earthy tones and porous surfaces, exude warmth and timeless charm. They seem to belong to the soil itself, weathering gracefully with each passing season. In contrast, zinc pots introduce a cool, industrial touch, their soft gray patina offering balance and sophistication. Arranged together, the trio creates a conversation between rustic warmth and vintage refinement. The plants chosen for these pots can vary, perhaps lavender in terracotta, boxwood in zinc, and trailing ivy spilling over another vessel. This mix highlights contrast while maintaining harmony, showcasing how even small containers can elevate the entire garden atmosphere. Positioned by the porch, the pots act as greeters, softening the architecture and blending the home seamlessly with the outdoor space. It's a reminder that vintage beauty lies in combining textures, materials, and colors in ways that feel natural, never forced. This simple porch detail embodies the overall theme: effortless beauty crafted through thoughtful choices and timeless materials. Few features capture the spirit of rustic upcycling, as well as the reclaimed ladder trellis. An old ladder, perhaps once forgotten in a shed, now stands proudly as a vertical support for climbing plants. Its weathered wood and sturdy rungs create a structure that is both functional and full of character. When draped with sweet peas, morning glories, or climbing roses, the latter transforms into a piece of living art. The contrast between utilitarian design and delicate blooms captures the essence of rustic vintage charm. This trellis reminds us that beauty often comes from reimagining what we already have, breathing new life into forgotten objects. Its verticality adds depth and interest to the garden layout, drawing the eye upward and breaking the horizon of low borders. Beyond its aesthetic appeal, the ladder trellis tells a story of resourcefulness, imagination, and the value of giving old objects a second chance. It embodies the makeover aspect of this garden not only in design, but in philosophy. Nothing is wasted, and everything has the potential to become something extraordinary. This creative reuse is what makes rustic gardens so endlessly inspiring. A front garden truly comes to life when you can walk through it, and the Fieldstone ribbon path offers a route that feels both grounded and enchanting. Unlike sleek modern pavers, Fieldstone carries the rugged beauty of nature. Each stone is unique, irregular, and full of character, making the path feel authentic and inviting. The ribbon style allows strips of greenery, gravel, or ground cover plants to weave between the stones, softening the structure and adding a sense of fluidity. As you walk along, the crunch of gravel or the soft brush of plants underfoot engages the senses, slowing your pace and drawing your attention to the details around you. The choice of Fieldstone highlights the rustic theme. Its rough texture and natural coloration tie the garden to the earth itself. This path does more than guide you. It sets a rhythm, leading you past planters, borders, and seating areas in a way that feels organic. It invites wandering, pausing, and appreciating, turning a simple stroll into an experience. Every garden makeover needs a backbone, and here, the ribbon path serves as both structure and story, connecting the garden's many vintage features into a cohesive whole. And so we come to the end of this journey through an effortlessly beautiful rustic vintage front garden makeover. From the weathered gate that welcomed us to the log slice edging that framed our farewell, every element has been chosen to create an atmosphere that feels both timeless and inviting. Together, these details demonstrate that rustic charm isn't about extravagance, but about embracing materials, textures, and stories that carry warmth and authenticity. Whether it was the vintage wheelbarrow turned planter, the wildflower verge bursting with life, or the reclaimed ladder trellis offering vertical delight, each piece contributes to a cohesive whole that is greater than the sum of its parts. This makeover reminds us that gardens are not only places to grow plants, but also spaces to nurture creativity, peace, and joy. If this video inspired you, don't forget to subscribe to Omasae for more beautiful garden transformations. We'd love for you to like this video and share your favorite feature in the comments. Your thoughts help us grow and inspire others in this community. Thank you for walking with us today. May your own garden journeys be filled with rustic beauty and effortless charm.